are looking for other materials which we can use in horticulture, and it's very nice story to use renewable biomass from peatlands instead of digging the peat out. And biopolymers is also a topic we are looking into also in the BBoBB project. Next slide. Yeah, why is this interesting as an insulation material? It has a special structure, even especially if you keep the stem, then it has air inside, which has a good insulation properties. We are looking in the BBoBB project on addition of binders, bio-based binders, and also on stability of boards, so you can put something weight on the boards, not only use it as a board, and also on cooling with hot or air steam or hot air is investigated. Next slide. Yeah, we have already some applications and more are on the way. This is a kind of research science cube, research buildings, small buildings, but now it's also becoming real in usually used buildings such industrial or factory, which will use cattle. And you see also we did a lot of monitoring on the properties and compared them with cellulose or other mineral wool, other normally used materials, and it has quite promising properties. We have at the moment we even have the problem that we have more uses or more demand than biomass. Next slide. Yeah, here you also see the monitoring results from Jade Hochschule, which is one of the partners in the project. Next slide, 27. Yeah, my last slide. I think it's very promising material, but we are still in the beginning. So we have in total, I think now 2 to 3 hectare ready in Lower Saxony. We hopefully have in 1 or 2 years, we have 20 to 30 hectares, but of course it's still comparable small if you want to use it as a building material in larger scale. But I know that also other partners are working on upscaling, and yeah, we will hear more from Petra, but we have 2 propositions, maybe also for the discussion. The first one, should I, Petra, is...
Yes, can everybody see the slide from the proposition?
It's 28.
Slide 28.
Yes, it looks like. And the first one is how to accelerate the rewetting. And
second one is how can we use more bio-based building materials?
Yes. As I said, we have about maybe total, we call this cultivation paludiculture, so where it's actively planted paludiculture. We have maybe in Lower Saxony, it's maybe 10 to 20 hectare if you look on all. And we learned that, or I mentioned that we need 50,000 hectares, so it's about 5,000 hectares per year to reach our intermediate goal of 10% emission reduction.
You can find the propositions in the Q&A, and for the Dutch people, it's vraag en antwoord. So it's next to chat in the top.
So, Petra, do you want me to tell a little bit more on that?
Yeah, you can continue first. I don't think if you already have reactions.
Yes. So yeah, I think it's perfectly fit to that first question. My thinking. because the economics, of course, is one of the big hurdles so far. We are waiting in Germany for a called Paludi guideline of subsidy guideline for paludicultures, where the cultivation is funded. We hope to get it or to have it ready end of this year. It's already in the pipeline for quite a while. We don't know exactly yet. We don't know exactly how this will look like in the end because it's still in the political process. But so far we don't have a funding next to the or except the research projects. We see that there is or the agriculture cultivation on drained peatland is becoming economically less favorably or less economically because with the taxation of the EU, a lot of banks ask about sustainable use of this agricultural land. So it's the competitiveness becomes higher of paludiculture on this sites, but it's not so far. It's not considered as agricultural production in the EU Common Agricultural Policy, which is another problem. And challenges to carry this high beginning of investment costs. So that are the biggest hurdle. However, we see a strong demand also for market side. In Germany, we have an initiative called Tomorrow Allianz or Allianz der Pioniere, which includes several big companies. Maybe someone know Otto or Baufritz. So companies from packaging, from a building industry, and they now committed to use paludiculture in their product, and they also started to develop their own product. But as I said, so far we don't have enough biomass to deliver or to supply them.
Next question came up.
Trade-off between production and the question is, how is the trade-off between production in these areas versus just returning them to nature, for example, natural wetlands? A good question, because I learned from Denmark that they mostly re-wet or restore this wetlands instead of using them in an agricultural way. We have so restoration for sure is also an option, especially if the market for product is not there yet. But we have a big discussion, at least in Germany, that we don't want to reduce our agricultural land, or not that in such a big scale. So if we are now in the project status, but we have to bring in the farmers to do that work in the future, and don't want to do it on our own. I think that both probably will be needed. Not all sites can be used in a production or economically production, but we want to keep the sites in production, and we also need the biomass in the midterm if we want to have a bioeconomy or an economy based on such resources or on biomass. And yeah, maybe that's the question. And of course, we hope also to get the financial means for this, transferring them to a climate-friendly use if we have an economic use of that area. We have not the money to do that. And so far, we don't have that much public money in there to do such a transformation.
There are also 2 questions in the Dutch side, I see, and maybe you can address them as well. How are the situation with PFAS on these areas from pesticide uses earlier? Can you
Yes, so
little bit go into this? Otherwise, I can.
Yeah, so beavers and also all kinds of rats is the issue. We need a fan on this side, which is like a meter under the soil, to prevent them digging through the dams. That's a big issue. I also just heard today that from our new polder, half of the plants were eaten by the goose. So that's also an issue. So you have to make sure that they keep away. But yeah, that's an issue. They like the dams and or make new dams. Maybe we also had the issue that the water management should be maintained. We had the issue that the outflow was blocked, and then the water table is too high, or even the dam can yeah, be destroyed by the water. And the other question was the pesticides on the site. So we normally we extract the surface layer, so maybe 20 centimeters are used or are taken away to build the dams. So we get rid a bit of the nutrients and also the fertilizers. Otherwise, on the other hand, we need the fertilizers for a good production of cattle.
Yes, we don't use them actually in our fields. So that's interesting. But another question over here: for which plants is typha-based substrate suitable? Which horticulture crops prefer to grow on it?
Yeah, the test we made so far is fermentation tests. And good question. I actually don't know which. It was a flower plant, I know, but I'm not sure which plants are used. Maybe some of the other project, Paludi and Markt, are in the chat and can answer that. But I know we have in this Ronnie project, the new one, there are more tests to with a big German product or potting soil company is looking on how they can treat the cattle in different way to use it for different cultures. So far, I would say it's preferable use for the hobby market. But you need some kind of fermentation or compost, but compost is also expensive. So we try to prepare it in a way that we can use it directly in a substrate similar to wood fibers.
Yeah,
but it's still under research. Yeah, it's still under research.
But there are positive results already in our projects we have together, also with bigger companies, because they also feel the pressure to avoid peat in substrates in a couple of years. So they really want to find out a good mix.